This episode is sponsored by Squarespace. I don't feel very well this week. If I die, how long will you wait before you eat my corpse? Hello everyone, welcome to episode 93. I'm really not well. You can probably tell by my voice and my terrible hairstyle. I'm not really that well at the moment. It was half term, kids are off school. Obviously, kids just make you sick. They just make you sick. There's lots of bugs going around at the moment, apparently, at schools, but it kind of gave me an idea for this build that I'm going to be doing. Today I'm going to be making an entomology frame, like an insect frame. I made one a while ago, people seem to like it, and I kind of fancied a little bit of a change. I did a robot last episode, and it's Big Butt Bash coming up at the end of this month, so yeah, a little change. Something different. So that's the idea. I'm going to make little insects that exist in the gutterlands. I'm going to come up with little stories for them. Alien insects. And out of beads and, just the usual. I think that's about it. What else? A couple of announcements. I'll be at ChillCon in Sheffield next month, I think, or this month, depending on when you watch the video. And I'll be at Salute. I'll be on a panel there as well. I went a bit mad and I bought a cricket cricket. People call it a cricket, but I'm sure it's a cricket. So I made a load of stickers because that's what you do at conventions. You give out stickers. I'll be better by then. I'll be a bit more fresher and livelier, and I'll be all nice and fresh and clean and ready to, contract convid, which is what everyone normally gets at cons. But let's make some alien insects and get this video done so I can go back to bed. And who am I kidding? They won't let me go back to bed. So let's do some drawing, let's draw some bugs. Now I've printed out a whole sticker page of bugs because you know what, you think you know how to draw bugs until you actually look at them and you think I've just drawn a circle with 8 legs coming off of it and called it a spider. Well, spiders don't actually look like that, so I thought it'd be nice to have a little bit of reference material. Now I sound a little bit different. You could probably, say that I sound extra sexy, or sexier than normal, which is funny because it's the opposite to how I look. I'm ill again. I'm ill, Bill. The kids were off for half term and they've just coughed and spat and sneezed in my face until my immune system just gave up and I'm ill. But I'm not going to complain. Well, I will, just not so much on here because I'm a professional. I was going to say content creator then, but I don't like the word content. Maybe a video producer. I mean, there's not a lot of content on YouTube. It's a bit of a bold statement, isn't it? I mean, have you seen what counts as content these days? Have you seen it? You probably have. You probably don't remember it, which is kind of like my point. Anyway, let's stop complaining about YouTube content. Let's go back to complaining about being ill. Oh no, let's just talk about drawing insects. I'm drawing insects. I'm designing weird alien insects to make an entomology frame. Now I used this joke in the last entomology episode. Entomology, the study of ents. It's not as good the second time. I'll give you a few seconds to compose yourself there. Entomology, the study of insects. I did an entomology frame on here before and people seemed to like it and I kind of enjoyed it, but I wanted to make another one because I thought I could, I think I can do a better job, and I want them to be more kind of focused on the gutterlands. I can imagine these insects being in the gutterlands and I can come up with weird little stories for them. So if you want to hear some weird stories about these insects, stick around to the end. I'm trying to draw a spider there, see, look. See, it's not just a circle with 8 legs coming off of it. That one's got 10 legs because it's alien, I guess. But that's the whole point. I'm just doodling here to see if anything looks good. So I guess my aim is to make these bugs kind of look like bugs, but also like aliens, which probably, you know, alien bugs probably don't look anything like bugs. What is a bug? You know, what is a bug? I should probably look that up. What is a bug? An insect. Thank you very much, Google. Yeah, just I'm trying to make these look like insects, but not, if you know what I mean. Just adding my little twist on them, and that's about all I have to say about that. I didn't mean to go all Forrest Gump on you there, but that's kind of all I have to say. That one's got a mouth on its back. Look, and I think I made that one. I probably should have made that one with a mouth. Anyway, Big Bot Bash. Anyone doing Big Bot Bash next month? Anyone? You heard of Big Bot Bash? Big Bot Bash next month. I'm probably going to be doing that next. Yeah. Look, I feel I have to apologise, okay, because my narration just isn't really up to scratch. I think it's because I'm so ill. I mean, this is going to be, I'm kind of on like painkillers, not painkillers, but you know, over the counter, paracetamol, ibuprofen, things like that, cold medicine. And this is probably going to be a bit of a delirious narration. Now, if you're into that, then please stick around. If not, please stick around and just mute me, yeah, if you want. You can mute me, I guess. But it's going to be one of those videos, I think. I like that bug. There we go. Bugs. I've drew some bugs, and we're going to make some bugs. And I'll see you in a bit. So this video is sponsored by Squarespace. Now, Squarespace is a website where you go to make websites. Now, if you have no idea how to make a website, you don't know how to deal with a HTML, is it HTML? I'm not sure. And you just want to make a website about things like, you know, like a pickle website, for example. Like, yeah, like that. Like Pickle Perfection. That's it, Bill. Click there. If you just want to make a website that's quick and easy and clean and nicely designed, then go to Squarespace. I made this website in like, you know, it must have been like 0.5 seconds. Maybe a little bit longer, I'm not sure, but it was really easy and it looks pretty good. And I will add stuff to it at some point. But yeah, if you want to make your own website, there's a sale going on at Squarespace. There's a little link down below. Go and have a look. So before I was housebound and ill, let's face it, I'm always housebound, but I went to the local charity shops to find a deep frame. I found this one. It was £2.50. It's a bit worn, but I kind of like that. I kind of like the way it's all, but it's kind of screwed in the back, which is a bit of a pain. And it has a rather nice little boat in there. I also found this one, which I think is like a bit more modern. It's like a memory box, and yeah, I don't know about this one. It came with some free pins, which is quite. It's got this little weird cushion. Don't need that. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe the one with the boat. Yeah, we go with this one. If anyone wants this boat, let me know. It's in my bathroom now. I took it out, and it's in my bathroom on my windowsill because that's where you put little boats made out of driftwood, apparently. I mean, I should probably give up YouTube and just make little boats for frames. I reckon I could probably, yeah, more of a steady wage. I don't know, something to consider, isn't it? So let's measure up some cardboard to be my packing. And whenever I measure cardboard, I don't measure it right, and it never really fits. I'd be completely surprised if this actually. Oh my God! It actually fits. It actually fits. Yeah, that's impressive for me. Yeah, I can't get it back out though. There we go. Sometimes I'm too good for my own good, if you know what I mean. We need to put that to the side. And let's start making our first bug. Now I want to make something quite simple. Like something like an ant. Something like an ant. And I think this is kind of like a perfect ant abdomen. I'm going to have to look up a load of insect terms, aren't I? So look. No, abdomen is right. Now I can hear you from here. What is this engineering marvel you can see right in front of you? Well, this is my bead cutting board. I basically took a heavy chopping board and stuck a mitre guide on it and a little vice that I can use to cut beads, which kind of works. I cut beads on it. Patent pending. I mean, stick this to this and that's basically an ant. But I don't want this to be some boring, conventional, middle-of-the-road ant. I want to stick some of these old little toothpicks on there. And, you know, those things kind of look like antennae, which I just looked up. So we could use those. But I want this ant to be spiky. Now, so these spikes stay in, I'm going to drill a few holes, but before you drill any little small holes, always make a little guide hole, a little pilot hole with a little drawing pin, something like that. Anything you've got sharp that's laying around. And it's so much easier, trust me. I'm a lazy sod, but this made it so much easier. It's worth the effort. So there we go, a spiky ant. It will look more like an ant later, I think. We're going to stick a few eyes on there. But I think eyes are going to come after we painted the thing because, you know, just I don't want to paint eyes as well. And a few antennae at the front. These things are kind of perfect for antennae. Don't know why I've never used them before. I guess I've never really made a little spiky ant before. Now, arms and legs, or just legs? Yeah, insects only have legs, right? I mean, unless you're a praying mantis, I guess they have arms. How many insects have arms? I'm going to look that up. No, praying mantis just have long legs at the front that kind of look like arms. I mean, why not just call them arms? That's what I'm saying. I mean, I thought they were special then. They were the one insect that had arms. I thought I made a big discovery. But no, they're just legs that look like arms. Of course, arms are just legs with hands at the end anyway. And here we go. Here is my spiky ant. Off you go. Go join your friends. Oh, he hasn't got it yet. Let's remedy that, shall we? Let's make another bug. I want to make a flying bug, I think. I want it to have a weird triangular body. And I only have one kind of triangular bead, which is this thing. This is a very, very fleshy bead. But make sure you sand your beads so they actually stick to things. That's a tip there. This is a crafting video. I should probably give you a crafting tip. And that's baking powder, by the way, which I just keep pouring all over my tabletop. For its head, I'm just going to use these two little beads on a little bit of wire and just kind of stick it to the front. Yeah, I mean, you can't really go wrong with an alien insect. But I might stick eyes on there later. Now this is EVA foam. We're going to use this to make like a scaly texture on the back. Also to help stick that head to the body, because this plastic's kind of horrible to stick. So I found an easy way to add a scaly pattern on the back of this insect. I found these scissors, these pattern cutter scissors. I'm not sure if that's what they're called, but I found a box of these in the charity shop, all different patterns, and I see them quite often, so if you want to pick them up you can probably find them. And I'm just going to kind of layer them up on the back here like this. Make sure you start from the bottom, work your way up, as your dad says. I've got a dad joke in, even though I'm not feeling very well. There you go. And well, there we go. I mean, it doesn't look great yet. We'll make it look good. Don't worry. We'll add some layers. And this is it's like a chip fork. Now I'm going to make these little pincers using those, and there we go. I need to make big wings. I haven't done that yet. I mean, I did do it, but I forgot to record it, as you can see there. But I've actually got this new tool I want to show you. There's, I saw Instagram videos of this, and I'm always wary of Instagram videos. Like, are they just absolute but no, this tool actually cuts any direction, and kind of really well. I do recommend this tool. I'm not sponsored by, what's it called again? Like gyro cut. I think it's called a gyro cut. But it's actually really good for making insect wings. Once you've cut out your shape, just carve in like little lightning bolt patterns along it, like that. Just like that. And once you've done that, you can just scrunch it up, and it starts catching the light. It looks kind of like an insect wing. Kind of. Best I'm going to do anyway. And there we go. But I'll put those on later. You don't really want to paint the thing when these little transparent wings are on there, so I think that's about it for this bug. You go and go join your little ant friend, and see you there. So I want to make a worm. I have an idea for a kind of worm that exists in the Guterlands, and basically I think worms are probably the easiest thing to make, really, especially like a segmented kind of centipede worm. Apparently centipedes never have 100 legs. Have you heard that? It's just yeah. I don't know why I told you that. Just this is the bug fact episode. We're going to use these little scissors again to make like a patterned carapace. I think it's called a carapace. That's going to go all along its back. And that would just about do it. I just want to cut the end of this extremely phallic shaped insect. I know everything I build seems to be phallic shaped. It won't help when I stick this orb thing on top of it at the end, but it's not a phallic thing. It's a worm, okay? If worms are phallic, that's evolution's fault, isn't it? I want to stick these little details all the way along it. I'm not sure why. Well, I do know why, and I'll tell you why in the story time. But boring time with Bill, story time with Bill. We'll talk about that later. And I just want to add a few little lumpy details on the front here. It kind of looks like a diseased phallic shaped thing now. But wait till it's painted. It might look alright. Go join your friends. Don't scare them. Hello, me again, Bill again. I'm still ill. This is the part of the video where I kind of talk about joining Patron and stuff. But this week I'm just going to talk about, I set a Patron challenge for my patrons to build a gang for Skirm in the Gutterlands, which is my game, which you can buy down below. And that's what they did. They spent a month making a gang for Skirm, and they were really cool. And I'm just going to show you pictures of them now. Right. There you go, quite a few more penises than I expected. But there you go, patrons, I hope you enjoyed that challenge. There'll be a new challenge next month, which will probably be to do with a big bot bash, let's be honest. But yeah, if you'd like to join Patreon, support this channel, keep me provided with medicine, and there's a link down below. It keeps the channel going. And yeah, like, subscribe, all that. I don't care. So I want to make a kind of mechanical bug, a bug made by a machine, I guess. And I've got lots of these pipettes. I bought like a pack of 100 for some, I don't know why, I don't even use pipettes, but I want to use this as like a little, kind of like a little vial that sticks out the bug and captures fluids. That sounds disgusting. For the body, I'm going to use some tin foil or aluminium foil or aluminum foil, whatever you want to call it. Just, you know, the shiny paper that you put around your roast chicken. We're going to use some of that for the body, because I don't really have a bead that's the right shape. Plus, you know, I'm trying to show you various techniques. I'm very thoughtful like that, you know. Now, some of you may remember a while ago I made this giant robot that looked like kind of like a giant bug. It's way too big though. It's called the Gasquito. Now that's kind of what this thing is. I'm going to use this little drill bit as a nose, like a mosquito's. What were they called? The proboscis. I don't know what it's called, but I thought it was quite clever using a drill bit because it's a machine after all. Anyway, this thing is going to be like a 1-to-1 scale of a Gasquito. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Disregard it. Just it's a mechanical bug that sucks gasoline and brake fluid and all sorts of fluids from machines by using its drill nose. This isn't the cold medicine talking, I swear. It isn't. Yeah, there is some design behind this. Basically, it's a machine made by a machine. The plant is a giant AI thing that creates robots, and it decided to create a little bug that can go around and collect fluids for it, which is what the little vial thing at the back's for collecting fluids. And it kind of looks like that. A machine makes the machine to look a little bit more organic than the original machine, if you know what I mean. That was my thinking. So it uses like wires and they're a little bit lumpier, a little bit less blocky, a little bit more organic than your usual machine. But that's what this thing is. It's yeah, a Gasquito. There we go. It's just a Gasquito. I'm gonna go take some more medicine. Oh, I'm back. What did I miss? Oh, you're all done. Okay, off you go. Go join your friends. So for the final bug, we're going to use a little bit more of this aluminium foil to make a basic shape that we can sculpt on, because this next bug is going to be made out of meat, because this is like a meat mountain bug. I know, I do understand this sounds pretty strange. Just go to thegutterlands.com and you'll know what I'm talking about. I want this bug to have a big eyeball on the top, like it's a little spy bug that walks around on walls, just watches you when you're, you know, doing things, all sorts of things. Creepy little bug. So to make a good eyeball, you just want to draw a kind of a big concave and then a deeper hole in the middle. You'll see what I mean later once I add some resin to that, but yeah, it makes a pretty convincing eyeball. So I'm going to go for 5 legs for this thing, just to make it extra weird. Like a little starfish kind of thing, I guess, which isn't a bug, It's like a sea bug, isn't it? They're like insects of the sea, starfish. Anyway, we're going to use some green stuff, which I think is pretty old, to be honest. What I like to do is just cut away that middle part with the blue and the green joins, because that's always like kind of cured. So get rid of that and then just mush the rest. I haven't sculpted anything in a while, and whenever I start sculpting again, it's like I've forgotten absolutely every single technique I've ever learned. So I'm just going to roll a sausage and just basically I'm just going to cover this thing in weird fleshy texture, I think. To be honest with you, sort of horrible flesh is kind of one of the easiest things to sculpt. You just stick a load of lines in there, little dimples, little holes, little sores, things like that. One thing I would say is sculpt the legs first and then attach them, because every time I sculpted the legs I would smush out some of the details on the body. But other than that, I think it's pretty much ready to go. Yeah, off you go. See ya! Now before we paint the thing, I just wanted to add a few little beads to some of these legs. I noticed that the legs were kind of lacking detail. I've stuck these little bits on the end of this flying thing, and a little armour plate that the wings can go under once I actually paint the thing. Now I didn't glue this down completely, so I can slot the wings back in and take them out before paint. So there we go. Now for the spiky end, we're going to stick these. These are the tiniest beads I've ever seen in my life. These are, yeah, I don't know where I got these from. They would disintegrate in my hand. But anyway, that's enough. I just want to test the layout of this entomology frame. But other than that, I think you can go make a cup of tea. It's nearly time to paint these things. See you in a minute. So it's time to paint my bugs. Still got my bug inside my face. We're going to use some Turbo Dog. I haven't really had a good excuse to use Turbo Dog, which is like a pearlescent metallic looking paint. Now I know you need to do layer after layer for it to actually work, which is what I'm doing here. But you know what? I don't want to talk about painting. Painting time with Bill is boring time with Bill. Boring time with Bill is story time with Bill. And I'm not going to be telling you stories about these bugs, but just how these bugs exist in the Gutterlands. So quickly, we have the barst ant. A barst ant is basically an ant that likes to walk like army ants do in a queue, in a line, across pathways and roads. And they are rock solid. They're almost like metallic in their strength, and they have these spikes on their back. And many people walk on them by accident and drive over them and puncture their tyres. So they're kind of a pain. They're like stingers across the road. You know what police use? So the next bug is called a Prince Albert bug. Now if you know what a Prince Albert is, you can probably see where this is going. Prince Albert bugs fly around. They're all over the place. They're kind of a pest. They have giant pincers on the front, and they like to attach themselves to extremities. I'm going to cut those feet off because it just looks like the spider in Harry Potter when they do that ridiculous spell. Anyway, as I was saying, the Prince Albert bug will fly around the waist looking for any body to kind of connect to cling to pierce and gather body warmth. So any extremities like earlobes, nostrils, nipples, tongues, use your imagination for what else is exposed to the wilds. It's quite likely a Prince Albert bug will just zip along and connect itself to you. They're quite hard to get off to. So this completely non-phallic looking worm is called a burnworm. Now this burnworm likes to burrow into rocks, really hard rocks like granite, things like that, but it doesn't actually dig the thing, it burns a hole through it. Burnworms have like weird bulbous glowing heads that tend to be as hot as the sun, or some have said it's as hot as the sun. It's just a very hot head that it can use to melt stone. It actually generates lava which spews out these little cavities all along its body, and it just makes perfectly kind of almost man-made holes into rocks and things like that. If anyone sees a burnworm in, say in the middle of respite, if anyone spots a little burnworm poking its little red hot head out of the ground, you have to sound the alarm, because burnworms tend to set fire to buildings, to houses, to vehicles, anything. It literally can burn through metal, stone, anything. So burnworms are kind of there's a bit of a theme today with all these bugs being pests. But you know, let's face it, bugs are pests, aren't they? Burnworms aren't aggressive, they're just kind of silly worms that just dig in places for no particular reason. But if you ever do see one and you try and stomp it with your big boot, just be aware that it would explode in a big magma explosion. They're kind of like almost like landmines in that sense. There you go, burnworm. So our next bug is the Gasquito. As I said before, this was a giant big creation of mine I wanted to make into an insect on the Gutterlands. I think it just kind of works a little bit better. So the plant is an AI factory thing that lives underground that creates its own types of robots. And this is one of its little robots. It likes to send it out to collect fluids, oils, gasoline and brake fluids and battery acid, all sorts of things that the plant can use to build more things. Casquitos tend to ignore humans because they don't really have any fluids they need, but a bead bot or a strider bot, any kind of robot that has like fluids in them that could be used to make other bots, these are a major pest like mosquitoes are to humans, and they have very nasty little drills for noses that they use to drill into things. And there you go, a Casquito Mark II, I guess. Casquito Mark II. So the wandering eye is, I guess it's an insect, although it's made of meat and flesh and almost human-like eyeball. These little pests are used to spy, to explore, to stand guard and be sentries essentially to the meat mountain. The meat mountain is a giant mountain of meat that's sentient, but it can't move anywhere, so it needs little things to do little jobs for it, and these little wandering eyes go around and just sort of spy for it. Wandering eyes are harmless, as in physically, but they will gather information and provide it to the meat mountain, which will send like meat fiends after like human settlements and things like that. So it's always a good idea to squash them if you see them. If you don't think they're too cute, just, get rid of them, kill them. But that's a wandering eye. Now let's arrange these on this little perfectly cut board. Actually took me quite a long time to arrange these in a nice little order on here, and I also made little Latin names for the creatures and the common tongue names, I guess you'd say, and we're just going to stick them on the board. But other than that, I think I'm pretty much done. See you in a bit. So here we are. Here is my alien entomology frame. You can't really see it. I'll put the glass on. For the glamour shots I took the glass off because I learned from the last video you can't actually, it's hard to shoot through glass. But yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. Did you enjoy it? Are you going to try it yourself? Are you going to build some alien insects and share it with me on Instagram? Because you can do that if you want. Hopefully see you at the conventions and take part in the Big Bot Bash next month. Hashtag Big Bot Bash if you build a bot using our bot generator thing. I'll put a little link to that down below as well. And I think that's it. I think that's just gonna lay here. There's glamour shots coming up now. There we go, my entomology frame, my alien entomology frame, take 2. I think it's much better than the last one. If you remember the last one, they'll tend to look the same. These at least these look pretty varied. I do apologise for my voice and my deliriousness in this episode. I'm just not feeling well. But, you're at the end now. You made it. You made it all the way to the end. I just want to thank you for watching. Comment down below. Subscribe. All that stuff. Join Patron if you're like a really, really, really nice person. Just like these people right here. Thank you, patrons. You're the best. All the cold medicine I took during this episode was on you. Thank you very much. You're like looking after me. Now I'm just going to go and lay down for a bit. Thanks. Bye.